Perseverance is a great element of success. If you only knock long enough and loud enough at the gate, you're sure to wake up somebody. Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. My friends, our knocking at the gate is simply 10 to 15 minutes each and every day practicing these charts. You can do this. If you listened to the show yesterday, you heard me talking about the success that we were able to show over just these last 2 months of April and May. And again, go back, backtrack that, see what I'm talking about. Wait for the STC to rotate over or to rotate up, depending on whether you're above for up moves, the 200 EMA. That's this beautiful golden line. If you're below it, you're looking for short trades. Above it, long trades. Of course, we have been short trades a lot lately on the Qs and the S&P 500. As we look at the S&P 500, of course, we had that latest rotation over. Of course, we jumped in with a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio based on the average true range, setting our loss band, double that for our profit band, and we very quickly gained a nice return of 3.27% on that down trade. That would have been purchasing SH, which is the single short of the S&P 500. If you don't know what I'm talking about, please take the training we have on inverse funds, how to make money when markets crash. There are complications with inverse funds. The fees are higher and they're revalued quite often, but they offer you opportunities, and you should practice trade them and see how they work for you. So we have a negative 15 on the success multiplier formula. We continue to watch the S&P move down throughout the day, reaching a lower low, down 0.30%. Not nearly the down move that we saw the day before and the day before that, but nonetheless, moving down. We look at the 2-day. And of course, we have the STC heading down on that. And of course, the weekly has been down for quite a while and plunging lower, getting close to the 200 period or the exponential 200 moving average for the S&P 500 on the weekly chart. Hey, we look at the Qs, we can see even lower on this weekly chart, actually the wick pushing through the 200 EMA and the candle sitting right on it. Friends, bear territory is where we're reaching there. Now we look at the Qs for the day, up at the end of the day just a little bit, 0.18%, but again, still moving down. I closed out my inverse trade PSQ, which is the inverse fund, single inverse for the NASDAQ 100, and that was quite a successful trade for me. You can look 5.03%. Hope you practice traded that along with me. It was good to me. I went ahead and got out. A little worried to let it ride like we did, but you know what? We did it. It worked. Take your profit, move on in your practice trade, and bank that up. Now, that is where we are as far as stocks go. Let's check out what's up with 20-year bonds, down 1.20% for the day. And we can see 20-year bonds just continuing to move on down. Red on the STC. We look at the 2-day, and it was green and just switching over to red. So again, and you look at how far below we are on those 20-year bonds, below the 200 EMA. Yes. And we look at the weekly, it's been red for quite a while. Bonds down, then sort of slid sideways up a little bit over a 3-week period, and then started plunging and accelerating with this week in particular. That is where we are on bonds. Again, so many things getting hurt with these market crashes. Look at gold. Gold popping up there and then rolled over and headed down. Of course, when that STC went negative, gave us an opportunity to jump in. Haven't closed that out yet, hoping that's going to work for us. Looking to gain a 1.96%. Again, didn't have much in the average true range there, but we are, again, just waiting, watching, pulling that short. Now, you might say, Tom, what is a good inverse fund for gold? There isn't one. DGZ is a possibility, but it's not for us. Why? Because the spread's too wide between the bid and the ask. It's not very illiquid. So the minute you jump in, you've got a lot to make up for before you're even breaking even. So instead, We do puts on gold when it's going down. How do you do that? Well, we've got a great training for our Patreon members at any of the support levels. You appreciate what we do. Help us out with a little support for all of the costs related to the channel. We so appreciate those Patreon supporters. And again, 3-part series, Options Made Simple, the Charting Wealth Way, available to you the minute you sign up. So that is one thing you can do with gold. And again, we're hoping to capitalize on that down move with a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio. We look at where things are on the 2-day chart. And of course, look at gold pushing back through that 200 EMA on the 2-day chart. 400 days, of course, of movement. We look at the weekly. And the weekly, of course, is, there we go, it's still well above the 200 EMA. And we're waiting to see if gold is going to surpass the most recent low back on the week beginning the 9th of May. Not there yet, but maybe heading toward it. And of course, we're red there. So gold, we're seeing a lot of red on gold. Gold has not recovered yet. So we're waiting basically for, I think, everything to settle out. And then once the dollar starts sucking wind, I think we can expect gold to be flying up like it's doing with so many of the other currencies around the world. Again, the hegemon of the US dollar is keeping it down for us. Which, in another sense, if you're not owning gold right now, I guess that's good for you. But be ready. Be ready. And again, we're not a stock calling service. We're an education firm, not a gold calling service, not a Bitcoin calling service. I want you to practice trade with us, and then you can make your own decisions at the right times once you master this. Let's move on to Bitcoin. We're looking at XBTF. This is the Bitcoin Trust ETF. What is it? It's managed by Van Eck, and it is a short-term future ETF, down 4.57% for the day. Bitcoin has been heading down for quite a while. Again, not a good week for Bitcoin. You can see right here how this week has been bloody already. We look at the half day, and of course, Bitcoin had been sliding sideways, and then of course, just trashing over here over the last couple of days in particular, just really, really hammering down. I feel sorry for all those people that have held on to Bitcoin for, I can't see any good reason. We've been talking about it for weeks and weeks now. Makes no sense to me. We look at the 2-day chart, and of course, we can see where things in Bitcoin have hammered down. And of course, the weekly chart that we showed first, just sucking wind really, really bad. So we are waiting to see if and when this is going to bottom out. It will at some point. And when it does and starts to move up, we'll be the first to be here calling it with you so you can practice trade it. Keep your eye on it. It will happen one day. Don't know how soon that'll be, but it will happen. That's where we are, folks, at the end of the day on Tuesday. As we go into Wednesday, we so appreciate you being with us. We always love to hear from you. CW@chartingwealth.com. God bless. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.